third number is to understand the nature of classroom learning. Educational psychology helps the teacher to adapt and adjust. Is teaching according to the level of the learner. A teacher is teaching in a class, but a large number of students do not understand the subject matter which is being taught. To deal with the students effectively in the class, the teacher must have the knowledge of the various approaches to the learning process, principles, laws and factors affecting it. Then only he or she can apply remedial measures in the learning situation. The fourth number is to understand individual differences. No two persons are exactly alike. Pupils differ in their levels of intelligence, aptitudes, likes and dislikes, and in other potentials. There are gifted, backward, physically, mentally challenged children. Thus, psychology tells the teacher about the individual differences among the students in the class and the procedure, methodology, and techniques to be adopted for them. The fifth number is to solve classroom problems. There are innumerable problems like truancy, bullying, peer pressure, ethnic tensions, cheating in tests, etc. Educational psychology helps to equip the educational system and the teacher by studying the characteristics of the problem children, the dynamics of the behavioral characteristics and adjustment, and to prevent them being happen. The sixth number is to develop necessary skills and interests in teaching. Educational psychology helps the teacher to acquire and develop necessary qualities and skills to deal with the problems created by the pupils. Maintain a healthy atmosphere in the classroom and show concern regarding the progress of the child. The next one is to understand effective methods of teaching. Educational psychology discovered several new approaches, principles, methods, and techniques of teaching which are very helpful in today's teaching learning process. Educational psychology tells us how significant play and recreation are for children and how play-way methods turn learning into an interesting task. The eighth step is to understand the influence of heredity and environment on the child. Educational psychology helps the teacher to know that the child is the product of heredity and environment. They are the two sides of a coin. Both play a prominent part in the all-round development of the child. While the child is born with a number of hereditary qualities, environment helps them to be modified according to the requirement of the society. The ninth one is to understand the mental health of the child. Educational psychology helps the teacher to know what are the factors responsible for the mental ill health and maladjustment of a student to suggest improvement thereof. Besides this, it also provides the teacher with necessary insight to improve his own mental status, to cope up with the situation. The next one is to understand the procedural curriculum construction. Curriculum is an integral part of the teaching learning process. Curriculum should be child-centered. I say again, it should be child-centered and fulfill the motives and psychological needs of the individual, because child capacities differ from stage to stage. Educational psychology helps the teacher to suggest ways and means the curriculum framework to prepare sound and balanced curriculum for the children. The 11th step is to provide guidance and counseling. Today, Guidance to a child at every stage of life is needed because psychological abilities, interests, and learning styles differ from person to person. Similarly, what courses of study the child should undertake in future is also a vital question. All these can be answered well if the teacher knows the psychology of children. The next one is to understand principles of evaluation and assessment. Evaluation is an integral part of the teaching learning process. How to test the potentialities of the child? It depends upon the evaluation techniques. The development of the different types of psychological tests for the evaluation of the individual is a distinct contribution of educational psychology. The 13th one is related to discipline. The slogan of the traditional teachers was "spare the rod and spoil the child." What is it? Flogging the child was the chief instrument. Educational psychology has replaced the repressive system with the preventive system. Now teachers adopt a cooperative and scientific approach to modify the behavior of the students. Emphasis is laid on self-discipline through creative and constructive activities.